The good people at Sonible asked me to check out their 3 latest plugins, and I said I would be happy to do that. So let's get right into the video. So in this video, I'm going to be trying out True Balance, True Level, and the brand new Pure Limit. All of these plugins are designed to make mastering music a lot easier. And after playing with Pure Limit for the past hour, I'd say, yeah, it does what it says it does. Although it doesn't correlate with True Level, because see, it strips the targets, the loudness targets, to make this just simple to use so that you get a good balance between peak reduction and dynamics. I personally like the way that this thing sounds in general, and if you look at your output meters, you know, you're still getting a good amount of dynamics. It may not match what is on True Level, but to my ear, it sounds really nice. Now that may change because right now I'm using the beta version of this plugin, 0.9.3 to be exact. But we'll see. Either way, I like it. I really like what True Balance allowed me to do, which is to easily manipulate one of my favorite mastering equalizers, which is T-Rack's Master EQ 432. This thing allowed me to get balances, and I wasn't really listening. I was just watching the meters, but then once I heard it, I was like, yeah, that does really sound good. So you don't have to get it exactly in the center of this gray wave line, but if you are able to do that, if you're able to keep your green line within this gray line, then everything will be all right. You have a lot of different genres to choose from, including high-pitched speech or low-pitched speech. On Pure Limit, we are limited to less genres than True Level, which gives you basically everything in Smart Limit, I believe. And you can also add your own reference tracks by dragging and dropping them into the GUI or by pressing the plus button right here. So without further ado, let's just do a before and after on different genres here. I should mention that the coolest feature on both True Balance and True Level are these balance check buttons and this mono check, so you can figure out, is the frequency balance good? Is mono compatibility there? And on True Level, we have the level check, which I already had enabled. Now, I do believe there's a bug in this because it says that the peak is too loud, but then it says it's just 0 decibels recommended for a change. Well, 0 decibels is perfect. So, yeah, I'm not sure if there's a new version of this or not. It looks like there's not. So anyway, ignore that.
Well, my father never loved me. He lived his life his own way. Well, my father never loved me. Lived his life his own way. I was raised up in...
Another cool thing about this plugin is you can see how wide your different frequencies are in the stereo field with a visual indicator instead of kind of just guessing with what you hear on your headphones or on your speakers. And overall, True Balance is it's just a very nice plugin to have. And I know that there's a similar plugin out there to this. It's nice to have 2 in my collection so that I can see if they agree or not. The idea is that artificial intelligence shows us, you know, where our levels should be. And by artificial intelligence, essentially what Sonible did is they fed their program a lot of different reference tracks from professionally recorded, mixed, and mastered music. And then the idea is that you just get your music within the range of those professional mixes and masters. And if they're in that general ballpark, then you're good to go. Moving on to a pop mix. I should show you how this actually works. So the idea is that you find the refrain or like maybe the second or third course, and then you hit the learn button. I always call this the record button. It's the learn button. And actually first you choose your genre of music. And if there's no genre of music, or speech is also an option if you do podcasting. So if you don't have a genre, then choose universal. But this is a Latin song. So let me hit play and hit learn. Now, how did I find the chorus even though I don't speak Spanish? I waited until the background vocals came in. I should tell you some of the controls on Pure Limit since it's the new one. First of all, again, the learn button, the genre profile button, or a drop down menu, I should say. This big circular thing is our gain knob, and you can either use your mouse scroll wheel or drag it up and down to increase or decrease the gain. Down here, you can choose what style you want. Soft is what it says it on screen. Soft limiting is transparent. And why is my phone going off? If you just click this, it cycles through the different styles. No, you can't use your mouse scroll wheel to do this. So you just click somewhere in this vicinity. Neutral is a balance between hard and soft, and hard is it's a more dense. Here, let me just read it, right? Punchy, but may have a bit of pumping. So there you go. So you either have transparent, a mix of both, or punchy with possibility of pumping. And then over here, inflate is essentially like saturation that increases the loudness without increasing the peak level. And then down here we have bypass. We can also resize the plugin, which is awesome. And then up here, I didn't even see this at first, is the settings menu. It's really hidden. It's like kind of near the buy now button, which, you know, wouldn't normally be there if I had a license for this. But you hit the settings button, you can choose what your peak limiter is, and by the way, it is true peak, which is great. The other thing I like about this is as you resize the plugin, the letters get bigger, which is not the case with a lot of plugins that resize for some reason. You can also choose to disable tooltips or enable them, and if you don't have OpenGL for some reason or it's running slow, you can turn it off. And if you want to share usage data with Sonible, then you enable this one or disable it if you don't want that. And yeah, also this is where you register your license if you end up buying this plugin. By the way, I don't know how much Pure Limit costs because right now it is not available for sale, but I'm gonna guess that this is going to be less than $50, but don't quote me on that. All right. So once you're finished that, click the gear icon again, and yeah. So on True Balance, the controls, well, other people on YouTube already talked about this. But, you know, this is a great little plugin to get your frequency balance and to check your stereo width is mono compatible and all that good stuff. Both of these tools, True Level and True Balance, are excellent for mastering. And just like the other plugin, you can resize it. That's a little bit too big. So I'm full screen now for a 1080p display. And there's the settings for that. And I'll resize this as well, just so you can see that it's possible to do that. Zero latency plugins, which is great. I mean, they are meters after all, but anyway, let me show you guys.
se non segui con me, in cerca di risposte vuote, come tu non ci vuoi parlare.
I should mention that this red line that curves is your peak reduction. It means that it's definitely hitting the threshold of the limiter. So I'll try to remember this number, 9.8, and I'll increase it so you guys can hear how good or how bad this limiter is in your opinion.
Cosa resta se non segui con me, in cerca di risposte vuote, come tu non ci vuoi parlare.
That sounds really good to my ears, even though it's compressed to heck. Let me back it down to 9.8, which is more my taste.
Cosa resta se non segui con me, in cerca di risposte vuote, come tu non ci vuoi parlare.
But yeah, if your customer, if you're mixing for somebody else or mastering for somebody else, demands loudness, then you know you can give them all the loudness you want and it still sounds pretty darn good. And if they want even more loudness, increase the inflation like our government has.
Cosa resta se non segui con me, in cerca di risposte vuote, come tu non ci.
That sounds like your typical commercial music nowadays, doesn't it? Let's back it down to more reasonable levels and enjoy that nice balance. Oh, why did it go up? Hold on. Oh, I can type it in? Good, good. So I click it once, type in 12, I think is what the original one was. And I can also type this one in as well. It was 9.8. Press enter. If you want it louder, there's the volume knob. So this is an alternative rock song, and that's the settings that it told me to do based on this meter in true balance. And let me reset this and find a course. It's telling me to go even louder. Oh yeah, for this one, I put Smart Comp 2 as the mix bus compressor to reduce the dynamics a little bit, but I guess it wasn't enough. Oh, hey, there's a feature I just learned. So if you double click on this setting right here, it resets it to what the smart reading was. So alt clicking also does the same thing. Very cool. So if you ever adjust this and you're like, I forget where I was, alt click or double click, and it takes you back to what Pure Limit set the setting to. So like I said, guys, for some reason, these two plugins aren't working well together. It may be because it's in beta. I'll talk to the developers about that. And let me just play one more track for you all. This one is pretty darn low. I was already zoomed in, but listen to how low this song is. Now, what would this be considered? What genre? Pop? I'm going to say pop. I mean, it could be rock, but I've done enough rock, I think. I mean, it's well, no, it's not electronic. I could try both, but all right, let me just do this one. I'll try rock now. Uh-oh, it didn't learn. It didn't learn properly. I have to restart it now. So the nice thing I just discovered is once you click the learn button and you get the area of the song that you want, you can just flip through the different genres and the different measurements are already there. So some of these styles you'll notice it says hard on the style, the gain changes. You know, if I do universal, it's on soft at 18.1, 9 inflation, and then pop it goes to 10, 18.6 and hard. Rock it goes to soft, 16.9 and 8. So very cool, very, very cool, and I think you need to know that because it'll save you some time if you use this plugin. So I decided that pop sounded better than the rock setting on this track. Let's listen one more time, maybe from the beginning. Now, let's just start right here.
I saw you staring at me, and I knew you didn't care.
So it's telling me to reduce the low end by about 3 decibels, which is where I had boosted it. So, okay. Let's just do 1.5. Nah, I'll put it at 0.
I saw you staring at me.
So that's a mixing problem. They had the bass too low in the intro because it changes way too much in the chorus. Okay, so there you go, guys. 3 plugins from Sonible that they've put out this year. I think in the past couple months, 3 months, something like that. And they make mastering easier to do for us guys who are making tracks out of our attics, out of our basements, out of our bedrooms, out of our dens. You know, the home studio guy. I mean, obviously professionals can use this as well, but this just makes making music easier. And I'm not going to say it'll replace somebody who knows what they're doing with a good mix or something like that, but it'll help us achieve that harmony that we're after when it comes to achieving audio that sounds as professional as we can with the equipment that we do have. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and try out this software. I'll leave links below in the pinned comment and in the video description. Peace.
Thanks for watching this RealHomeRecording.com video. You can get monthly audio engineering news and exclusive videos by signing up for our newsletter.